Hey, welcome to my Albion Prelude guide to X3. I'm sure a lot of you guys are recently purchased X through the Humble Bundle. Amazing, I love how they do that. But what I wanted to focus on right now is basically giving you an introduction on how to actually play the game. This is a very complex but very awesome space sim game. Let's go ahead and start a Humble Merchant. It's the very most common beginner start. But starting with this one will allow you to get into the game without getting into the combat, and if you're not prepared for the combat, it can blow you away pretty easy, which is one of the better parts of the game. It's hard. It's hard in a good way. I'm gonna go ahead and skip the video. I'm playing vanilla. What that means is there have been no modifications to the game. Egosoft is amazingly supportive of the mod community. If you haven't, I highly suggest you go and check it out at their forum on egosoft.com. They are really awesome. I usually play a modded game. The modded game allows me to do lots of things you couldn't in vanilla, but at the same time, if you don't already know how to play vanilla, then you might get a little lost. So basically, I'm using mouse and keyboard to pilot. No special gimmicks for me. First thing I always do when I start a new game is I press escape and go to the gameplay options. And I have a fast computer, so I turn the SCTA, Sensor Singularity Engine Time Accelerator. Basically, it speeds up the game time. So the ships around you move faster, you move faster, items are produced faster in factories, and it can be a little funny because sometimes it'll stop ships from shooting their turrets, things like that. So it can be exploited to a degree, but it also is just extremely handy to get around space because space is big. I usually set my Gravitar view to 25 kilometers, so I don't like it moving on me. And left monitor, I always set to automatically whatever I'm targeting, give me a video on the top left, as you can see there. You can also set it to auto target your missiles, but I don't usually use that because I usually will put a watch if I want to watch something in specific. I can set it up so if I want to watch myself. I'm in the Mercury right now, so that's watching myself. So as I turn, it'll give me a view of my own ship, and that's on the top right. Autosave stations, definitely. Confirmation ejects, no. Sometimes you need to eject quicker. I do disable war reports because that can be a little annoying sometimes. And I usually use numeric shield and hold display. You can also customize some of the commands for the turrets, but that's pretty advanced, so we're going to skip that. And also, if you do that, turn that to off, it'll pause when you alt tab out of the game. So I'll go ahead and leave that on and escape out. The controls are pretty advanced. I usually customize. I'll let you see this. You can pause this later if you want to come back and look at it and set yours to what I have. It's pretty useful. Go ahead and go down to the bottom of this one. You don't have to use this. Like jump drive actually is set because I was doing different. Hold on. That one needs to be Control J, Y. I was playing with a modification that had an advanced jump drive, and I was using that instead. And I don't need this. I'm going to save the changes on that. So, here I am in space. If you press by default period, it'll bring up your local map. This is your lifesaver. It's how you can get around and see what's around you. If you notice, I actually have two ships. The green ships in the menu are mine. The other colors are neutral, and red will be enemies. It's actually another thing to talk about. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to change ships, because I do not like flying this slow. Oh, there it is, right there. I hate flying slow ships, and traders are extremely valuable ships, but they are also extremely slow and boring to fly. I like to fly fast ships and combat ships. So, first I'm going to do is press Shift E to exit my ship. So now I'm just this little dude floating in space. And I press X, that's how I have mine set up, accelerate to start flying towards the other ship. I press T to target the Discoverer, and when I'm close enough I press E to enter it. And now I have officially switched ships to my Discoverer. This is a fast scout ship. It's able to travel 118 meters per second. Also, never ever run into rocks. They will kill you. Crashing is a bad idea. So the first thing, since I'm a humble trader, I'm going to try to find a good deal and make some money. So let's look at our local factories. We have ore mines, we have Rhymes factories, silicon, space fuel. Space fuel is actually an illegal good, so you kind of risk a little bit if you buy that. Ore mine, if you look, see how much volume the product has. You want it to be over half full. If it's under half, then the pricing is going to be too expensive to buy. You won't be able to turn around and make a profit very easy. Look at this, that's at half. That is, you see right there, under half. That's a bad buy. Ore mine M Gamma. Pretty good. Let's look at the Rhymes fact. Ooh, poor. But if you notice how little Delexian wheat it has, that'd be a good place to sell Delexian wheat. It would give you a good price for it. Same thing. Silicon mine, same thing. Well stocked, however, it is a commodity I could get in trouble for carrying. So I'll choose not to. Well, let's look at kahunas. I usually don't like to deal in kahunas. I find them hard to sell. But looks like our best bet is ore mine. Was it Gamma? Yeah. So I'm gonna go to the ore mine M Gamma is where I want to send my trader to buy stuff. So I'm gonna go to my trader, press C to open up communications, or basically the autopilot, navigation, dock at. This is the universe map. I could choose a different sector, but I only know one sector because I just started the game. Heron's Nebula. Go down and select ore mine M Gamma. And now he's going to start traveling. I engage my singularity engine time accelerator to speed up the process so it doesn't take the actual hour or so it would for him to travel. You can see why I have it set to 1000% instead of the default 600 now, I bet. I'll go ahead and speed up myself and follow. There's many useful commands. I have mine mapped very differently from the defaults. But for me, shift middle mouse click will make me set my speed to match the target. So right now I'm targeting my Mercury. I'm actually following at the same distance, 4.64 kilometers, because we're traveling the same speed now. Minor differences because of vector, but you get the drift. Now my ship doesn't have a lot of stuff. Here's my freight bay. I have a 2 megajoule, 1 megajoule shields, and my time accelerator. If you take hull damage, if the enemy shoots you and gets through your shield and hits your hull, sometimes these things will get blown up on your ship. And that's really bad, especially if your time accelerator gets blown up, because then you're stuck waiting the actual time it takes to go to the next station that will sell it to you. So my trader is trying to find his way around the asteroid. If you press F3 while targeting something, it'll actually let you look directly at it. It's really handy. If you press F2, it looks at your own ship, so you can see what you look like. Number pad 0 is defaulted to give you different cinematic views. Pretty cool. I like that one. course, I'm going really slow because I don't want to wreck. Because I can't see where I'm going. I can turn. Yeah, I can see I'm going this way right now. So let me speed up. Of course, my obligatory sound effects. Ah, I'm gonna crash. Okay. So I'm going to sit still so I don't crash while my trader finds its way. I'm going to actually open up the sector map and engage the engine time accelerator as well. Now normally, if you're in the universe map, it refuses to allow you to engage the engine time accelerator. However, if you open up the mouse, you can actually click this little icon right here. Oh, that's right. You had to do it first. First you engage this singular engine time accelerator. Then you can use this map, or this button over here, to pull up the universe map. So now the thing is engaged, engine time accelerator is engaged. But anytime you press a key on the mouse, or in the game, it'll pull you out of that sped up time. So you want to use a mouse if you don't want to stop the time from being slowed down. Well, actually I have a really good few ships here in the local sector, so I can give you a rundown of what these different symbols mean. Circles are your factories. Okay. That claw-looking shape is a destroyer. Now I know you might get it if you're really into actual Navy terminology. Destroyers are small. In this game, destroyers are considered to be the large attack ships. You have, starting from the smallest ship, you have an M5, which would be a scout, which is basically like what I'm piloting, and that symbol looks like that. See those single triangle? Then there's M4, which has a single bar under it, like the military buster there. M3s have 2 dashes under the triangle, and M2s are considered the Titans, like that one, and M1 looks like that symbol, but it only has 1 dot under it instead of the claw with 2 dots. This is another symbol. It means frigate. Oops, he just went out of my scan range, which is probably pathetically small right now. Let's see if I can find him. Yeah, he's right over there. That's Cerberus. He is considered a frigate. And there's also, of course, a transport class, TS, for small. Transport small is like the one that I have, and I commanded to land at the ore mine. And there's also transport larges, which I think is actually on mine. Oh, he left. He was. I'm pretty sure there was a transport large. I think that's him over there. Okay, he looks like it. That's what they look like. That's a mammoth. Transport large, able to carry stations and stuff. But that one is actually considered to be a civilian ship, so it doesn't have the same designation on the monitor. If you notice, it has just a little tiny dot down there. And those are civilian ships, which are of basically no consequence. There's a casino over there. Can't land at it and gamble, which is kind of a bummer, but hey. Now, you may see that light bulb on the screen. That is actually over the Rhymes fact, which is 11 kilometers away. I can communicate to that one. See, the light bulb is on number 4. I can actually, it's like a mission I can accept. He wants me to scan some asteroids. Or actually, he wants to sell me some asteroid scans. Excuse me. I could buy those if I had the money. I really don't need those things right now, so I'm just going to escape out. But sometimes people will ask you to scan for them, which is what I thought it was. Request permission to land. Then I'm trying to land at this factory here. So, request permission.
Positive. Please start as soon as you get green position lights.
And see that green position light? I proceed to accelerate towards it, and then I slow down and get close, or else I wreck. So I want to be going less than 40 kilometers, or 40 meters per second. Once I get that and lined up, I can speed up time and get there faster. Yay! So, I could try to trade with the factory and get my ore, right? Problem is, I'm not in the trader ship, so I can't actually buy that size ware. See how XL by the ore symbol is red? It's because it's too large of a transport class for my ship to carry right now. Because my ship can only carry medium containers, as you see there. So let's go to the landed ships. Now under the station menu, you can go to landed ships. That's where I did quickly. I'm used to pressing the L button to do it fast. L will take you to landed ships. So let me go to my Mercury and tell it to trade with the D button. So now I'm actually buying the ore via my Mercury trader. So I can buy a total of 139 units at 70 credits per unit, which is a good thing. If you want to look at the stats on something, you can... and I've gained recognition for buying that for a good price. So Argon likes me a little better. Go to the personal information, press P for pilot status again, and see Argon Federation member. That means they like me. And Talati Prophet Initiate, Talati, Argon, these are all different races. The better they like you, the more stuff you can buy from them, the more factories you can build from them, and the less likely that stealing a ship from them will cause them to want to blow you up permanently. So, okay. So let's go ahead and find somewhere to sell this ore. I'm in the scout ship, so I'm going to go ahead and leave my trader docked there and safe. No pirates can kill it while it's docked in the station unless they kill the station, which has a lot more shielding than my little dinky ship. So I'm going to fly towards the south gate. You see it takes me a little while. That's why the time accelerator is so handy. Now, none of these stations here are really going to be using that ore except for perhaps this one. But as you can see, the ore is already filled up to max. I'm not going to make any money off of them. So the south gate has leads to Argon Prime, and they usually have quite a few factories that require ore as a resource.
Entering system Argon Prime.
Now there's a difference between how ships behave when they're in the same sector as you and when they're in an adjacent sector or far away sector.
This production facility.
That one has a medium stock of ore, so I'd probably make a little bit of credits, but not a ton. I want one that has no ore left, or they're going to be desperate to buy. Pressing U with something targeted pulls up information on it. That's how I'm pulling that menu up. So I'm going to scan that direction, try to get that one on the radar. Nope, not quite close enough. Usually within 24 kilometers. It'll pop up. 15 because my scanner's weak. Full on ore. As you can see. Meat stick kahunas would be a good sell, but not ore. Time, travel around a little bit. Need to make some money. Some capital ships have special names, like the Argon 1. It's basically a military titan. Or is this a Colossus class? Yep, Colossus. Colossus has lots of shielding, and can carry 60 ships. That's a lot of ships. Anything M3 or smaller, so fighter class, interceptor class, and scout class ships can dock there. It's really handy because later on you'll get jump drives, which allows you to jump around the universe a lot faster. And if you just have to pay for one jump drive, you can transport your 60 assault ships and wreak havoc on your enemy, and just pack them back up and send them back to your home base. Really good for strikes. Let's go and see if this is a missile production plant or not. Oh, that's quantum tape? Oops, my bad. Aha! But look, good sell for ore. Might not be the best sell yet, so let's go ahead. I know that there's a sell here. I'm gonna open up my menu by pressing the comma, up, enter, down to the ore mine Gamma where he's docked. Press L to access the landed ships. C over him, access the navigation, and dock at my target. I just gave him the command. He's going to autopilot, basically, and drive himself all the way to that space, dock there, and once he docks there, I can tell him to sell. There's actually a piece of software I can buy called a trading system extension that allows me to remotely tell him to sell or buy. I don't have to dock with him, but for the time being, I'll have to dock next to him to tell him to sell. So that's one of the first things going to be on my buy list. Okay, this guy has more ore, so he would be a bad sell. Let's go over here and see about this one. This is the one. Yeah, Swarm Missile Production. Lots of ore, so bad sell. That's a shipyard down there. It's good to have that one on your map. And as you can see, he has a mission for me. When you get within 25 kilometers, you can send him a communications, but right now he's too far away. It doesn't work. That's one of the better things about mods, is you can modify that. If you just can't stand the fact that you think you can't send a signal through space, to me, it's kind of retarded to have it less than 25 kilometers. For the comm range in space, really? I mean, we can communicate to Mars from Earth. Why can't we communicate more than 25 kilometers in space? But, you know, it's a design decision that Eaglesoft made. I can see the reason for it, make your space seem bigger, but to me it just doesn't make any sense. So there's mods out there that modify that specific aspect of the game and allow you to communicate to anyone within the sector that you're in, basically. So he wants to sell me some local star charts. Well, I have 40 credits to my name, which is barely enough to buy a beer, so I'm going to say no. He's out of my range as well, so I'm going to head towards him and see what his mission is. Might be something easy that I can do in my little scout ship, but probably not going to be possible. Anytime my trader ship should be jumping through the north gate. I can actually check its progress by going up and looking at it. Yep, almost to the south gate. But the darn thing is so slow. That's why I'm not in it. I can get more stuff done by scouting. So there he goes. He's heading towards that place to try to sell my stuff. Now, if I could buy those Silkworm missiles, I could make quite a bit of money. However, I don't think I'll have the funds to buy enough to make it worth my time to dock there. Even after he sells his product. You've noticed the credit CR at the end of that list there is where it's supposed to tell you the credits. If I had the trading system extension, it would tell me how much credit is actually going for. It'd help better for planning out exactly how much is going to be spending or not. So, I'm kind of burning time here. Let's go ahead and speed it up. Get him over to where we can make the sale and proceed. Ah, that symbol, see his little mark there? That is a M6 class vessel. It is my favorite class of vessel to fly. Of course, my favorite ship being the Hyperion, which eventually I will pirate and take over so I can fly it, because it's fun. But that's a Centaur. It's the Argon version of that class of ship, and it's decent. I wouldn't call it amazing, but it gets its job done. It's kind of a workhorse. To me, it's too vulnerable turret-wise, though. I like a lot of turrets on my ships. So, let's speed up. And get over to that factory we want to make her sell. Now, it could be that another trader, an NPC, or a non-player character, has flown there and already made a deal where we want to sell our stuff. And that would be bad news for us. Where was it? Weapon comp? No, it was Quantum? Yeah. Okay, so we're good. Looks like they're still low on product. So let's go ahead and speed it up again. Just that guy right there. That's actually a fellow trade ship. You can actually sometimes see where they're going. If you press U, yeah, Destination Cattle Ranch M Alpha in Ringo Moon. That can be handy to see, okay, where is this guy going? Is he trying to beat me to a deal or not? So probably he's going there and going to buy him out. He's a big ship. He can carry 11,667 cargo units. Whereas my little Mercury, he can only carry 3,000. So he can carry 4 times the amount of cargo mine can. It can really buy out the station before I get there. So I just have to be careful for that. Looks like we're clear as far as trade ships coming towards us. This is a different class of ship called a military transport. This class of ship is really good. It's one of my favorite early game ships because it carries a decent amount of cargo, and as you can see there's a couple of ship stocks. Those are M3 fighters called Argon Novas. Those guys are really good. Really good starter combat ships too. They're worth over 1 million credits, so it's really hard for a noob like me at the moment to get a hold of one, especially since I have no guns. But I like that ship because it's able to carry 4 fighters for you. If you get in a pinch, you can use those to get out of the pinch. And it has pretty good shielding. 400 megajoules of shielding. And a decent power generator. 1,000 megawatts is no joke. Compared to my current ship. You can see 100 megawatts. That's 10 times the power generator for regenerative shield power. So it's a very versatile ship. Like my ship, if I upgrade it all the way, can only hold 50 units of cargo. That one can hold 1,500 max. And extra large containers. It's really handy. So, Mercury. Let's see where he's going. Okay, let's go ahead and skip some of this time here. I'm just going to wait for my Mercury to pass me. In the meantime, I will talk about weapons. There are several different classifications of weapons in the game. There are impulse rate emitters, particle accelerator cannons, high energy plasma throwers, and if you go on the forums, all of these will be, no one's going to write the whole words. There'll be IRE for impulse rate emitter, PACs for particle accelerator cannons. Okay, he just landed, so I need to go forward before a trader beats me there. HEPTs for high energy plasma throwers, plasma thrower centers. There are several different kinds of actual weapon. So you just want to be careful to only buy what you can use or sell. You find some floating in space from there being a combat in your area. The ship got blown up and they dropped something. By all means, grab it. You can also only save in stations. I'm going to go ahead and save now, just in case. Let me find an old save. Okay, yes. That's the one from Daedalus. I haven't played him in forever, so he's dead.
492, please proceed to gate 7 immediately.
So, game save 5. Just have to remember that that's the one I'm saving over. Okay, so I want to trade, but not with my current ship. I want to trade with my other ships. Go to landed ships. Go to trade with him. And I dump all of my ore out. So if you notice, I now have 27,000 credits to my name. That's a pretty good amount of money I made there. Started off with not very much. I forget how much it was. A lot of people will sell the Discoverer at the beginning of the start, which is a pretty good tactic if you don't mind just flying the trader around yourself. But as you can see, I like to scout in the faster ship faster ships can also get away from fights easier. So the first thing I'm going to do, command my Mercury trader to... Wait, let's look at the price. I need to look at the price here. Yeah, overpriced quantum tubes. Let's undock. And I need to find another deal. But at the moment, I'm going to call this a quits for the first video. So you can go ahead and try out some of the things I've shown you, get your first few steps into space. Alright.